Okay, good evening. 6 o'clock, so we'd like to call the pre-council meeting to order. We don't have too lengthy of agenda tonight. We don't have a whole lot of people in attendance, so thank all of you for coming. Maybe we can move through this pretty quick. So it's okay with the council. We will get started on that. So call to order, the invocation. We did the invocation last week.
Elsie did.
Oh, so. Little, you want to go back around, or would you?
Do it again.
But Mr. Little, he always good about that. We'll have a roll call. It appears that the only one absent is Mr. Phillips. The agenda. Any deletions or additions that we know of? If there's no real opposition, we've been adding to it or taking away as we go.
I can approve.
Mr. Skelton, Mr. Little. Second. Recognitions. Ms. Heather, you didn't have anything on for tonight, do we? Or anybody coming? Thank you. Okay, our visitors tonight, we have two on the list. First one is Miss Betty McLean. I don't see Betty here yet. Looks like she's going to request a waiver of rental fees for Steel Creek Lodge on May the 15th, 2023 for the Gator Guys lunching. I want to just wait till the council and see if she shows up.
Doesn't matter to me.
We hardly talk about it since I don't really have any of the details, so we'll see if Ms. McLean shows up at the 7 o'clock meeting. Same thing for Mr. Mike Davis. I don't see Mike here, and he's on the agenda. Mike Davis, SCDO, to present a check to the Women's Club for the Union Chapel and to request a waiver of rental fees for Steel Creek Lodge for the Citizen of the Year banquet. I don't know what date I know they put out.
April 27th, for the Citizen of the Year.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, we will hold off on that too until Mike gets here. Okay, on the mayor's report. Basically the same old things that we've been talking about since the start of the year. They're completing the sidewalks, mainly the repair. The new sidewalks are in, but they made some adjustments, and I think they went back and actually tried to raise one or two at a couple areas where they seen it was holding water and all. So I think they got that completed. Travis, did they complete that yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Was that completing all of the requests that we had made for repair or?
All what do you call it, when you come to the street, they raise.
Right.
Raise ones up there that were low. We're doing a follow inspection last week. And, there's a few places that cracked, had a little
That's what I was saying. I thought they completed the punch list yesterday, so that should be through. You may have noticed the intersection there in front of the pilot, that they did a lane change over that. So if y'all have seen how much concrete they've poured up there in the last couple of weeks, they really started making a lot of headway. So that's, they still said, I got an email yesterday that they think they're on target for completing it within the time frame, and also I was glad to see that. Steel Creek project. They've had some work, but there has been a slowdown a little bit, and they've attributed that to the high water and the rain that we've had, and it's been awfully wet down there where they're trying to work. And yesterday, the high water, they said, prevented them from bringing the barge in because of the, it was really rough out in the bay, and they was trying to bring one over to do some of the work. But they're still saying they think they can be on target with that too, so I will keep y'all apprised of any changes. But other than that, I think they're both moving forward at a good pace. The work, Randy, you may be going to talk about this. If you are, I'll just quit. The work that they're doing at sanitation,
Yeah.
all right, I'll let you do that.
Work, is continuing and getting a little more done than, was previously, so we're on a little better time frame now.
Okay. All right, well, they're moving forward with those projects. Did you want to introduce Jessica whenever it gets to you? We have a few other things, but they're all relatively small. For that being said, that's the main things from the mayor's report. Moving over to public services, Mr. Little.
Yeah, Mr. Tarver was down at the ramp today, and like I say, work is, going a little bit more what I thought it should be. And don't know exactly the time frame when he's gonna finish, but he is working on it. And I'll give the inspection report, basically that's about all.
Mr. Butler.
I've only got two things, and that's for the fire department for the month. We got CMS calls, 62, fire-related calls, we got 6, mutual aid, we got 4, and for the total calls for the month of February was 72. And that's all we have for that.
Okay. You said two things? Was that, you have something else?
No, we didn't have anything for
Okay.
mutual aid.
Mr. Kelton?
Yeah, I would like to introduce our newest city employee that will be effective next Monday. Miss Jessica Jones is coming to us, and we're glad to have her. She's got some big shoes to fill, but we'll give her some time to get her feet wet and up to speed and start throwing things at her. Only other thing I have is, was Travis, were you able to get in touch with Neil Schaefer about the paving and some of those road crossings?
Yes, I showed him everything, he said he'd take care of when, I don't know.
Okay.
I let him know that it was unsatisfactory.
I appreciate it. That'll work.
Old Highway 43 Revson,
Yeah.
basically not fixing it, it's just incomplete, right?
Well, they should have milled
Down.
each intersection.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it, they just paved over it. That's not the way it should be done.
But that's what he's referencing,
Right.
fixing, yeah, okay.
That's all I have.
I don't know why they didn't do it like they did on Harrison, where they milled and stopped, and there's no bump at all.
And
They,
Maple and all the other roads is,
yeah,
you know,
but they didn't, you're right.
blended in, you know.
But that was a different contract.
Right.
I mean,
But they,
you had Pine, efficient like it worked before.
We've got the engineer that's here. Let's call him tomorrow and see if he's, so we can have an update for next week for him. Okay? Thank you, Jason. Ms. Reese?
Were we supposed to have a workshop for the audit at 5:30 today? Was I the only one that showed up for that?
Yes, we had originally planned one, and they haven't got the audit ready, so I'm sorry we didn't.
Nobody told me that it wasn't happening. Did y'all get a cancellation? Text, email? What'd y'all get? Phone call?
I just forgot all about it.
You forgot about it? Okay. You forgot about it too?
They wasn't here. You were the only one here. So.
So I spoke with George before the meeting during the workshop time, which was convenient. So, he's gonna work with me and, the officers at Lions Park over baseball over some safety concerns with the fence and just, address those and see how we can move forward with making sure nobody gets hurt with pieces sticking out. And I believe that the girls' softball opening weekend is this weekend, and then the following weekend will be for baseball. I think that coincides with Swamp Fest, a big event coming up this weekend. That's all I have.
All right, we'll move down to discussions and items for discussion and/or consideration. Payment of the bills.
I got that one.
I'll second it.
Jason, Randy. Discussion and consideration of the resignation of Blake Russell as a police officer to be effective March 11th, 2023, in good standing.
I'll make a motion.
Second that one.
Butler, Mr. Skelton. To second. Discussion and consideration of approving parade permit for Sunlight Missionary Baptist Church on April the 15th, 2023. Do we have,
They're not requesting any roads to be closed, they're just wanting to do a motorcade. Police department looked at it, said they had no concerns with it, said if they needed a car in the front to lead them, they would try to do that. Fire department's okay with their application.
I can make the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Reese to make the motion, second by Mr. Little. D, discussion and consideration of authorizing a voting delegate, first, second, alternate for the annual league convention, which will be May the 10th through the 13th. It's going to be held in Birmingham. First, we need to make sure who all is going to go and who would be interested in the,
And just a side note, all the hotels are booked that the league has blocked, so we would have to find somewhere else if anybody's attending.
I've got a work conflict that week.
I'll go to this one.
I'm planning on going.
And it,
No, one. She can't go.
Be the delegate. Or
and unless Mike or Randy wants to do it.
I'll do one of the
Okay. Okay. Well,
already have to go.
I'm not sure, but I'm going for sure, so, thank you. How about, first alternate be Mr. Little, would that be okay, and Mike be the second alternate? Allison, are you going to be able to go, or do you know yet?
I don't think so. We always have a shutdown at the first week of
You said you
May.
had conflict
Yeah,
on
and
that.
that's unfortunate because I always liked going.
Before we close the, not, say, so,
I can make,
sure,
I can make that motion
okay,
with,
thank you.
with you being the delegate. And Mr. Little's first, Mike's the second.
Ms. Reese, would you mind seconding it since?
Oh, sure. I can do that.
Okay. Just so we don't have to go into it at the meeting, we're moving quicker than we've ever moved through a pre-council. Our interviews are scheduled next week still, Heather, for the police chief.
Yes, sir. I got an email today from one of the candidates. His 22-year-old son was, passed away. And so he sent me the information on that said that I would be at his interview, that he just couldn't be at the council meeting tonight. He usually
Okay.
attends the meetings.
I'm very sorry to hear that. And y'all do know, I guess we see that, I was gonna mention it later on, but Randy's aunt, Miss Barbara Black, who's a lifetime resident of Satsuma, passed away since our last meeting, and I think they're gonna have a memorial service maybe Friday.
Friday afternoon.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Mr. Mike Pruitt, I think he'd been a long-time resident of Satsuma. Mr. Cooley, Robert, Mike Cooley's dad passed away. His service was, I think, last Saturday. And Diane Corrales over in the library next door, her daughter, passed away over the weekend. So, it's sad when you see these young people passing away. I think we see Miss Jackie back there. I'm sure she's going to come forward. Jackie, do you want to come forward to pre-council, since we actually got a little time, to mention Swamp Fest and whatever we may need to do? Did we close the roads last week? Did they know that we need to be closed for the events Saturday? Okay. I just wanted to make sure we have what's going to be closed at the meeting, okay?
So we're good with closing the road?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Do you know exactly where you wanting to close them, Jackie?
Right, from
Bless you.
Old Highway 43, from Baker Road to Maple? Okay.
I didn't know last year we only closed it to this side of Maple, but we actually had them cars in the show all the way on down past.
Hopefully, they'll have
Maple.
enough space this year, but
Okay.
if they get 250, they'll be down the road.
We may have to, Travis may have to have you a couple extra barricades, because we may have to expand our area a little bit if it gets as many cars as they're saying. The weather's supposed to be really pretty,
Yeah.
sunny and,
And I'm hoping we don't
69.
get too much rain beforehand, because we have so many vendors, I'm starting to put them on the grass, and it's their choice. They know it might rain and it might be wet and soggy, but I have like 10 people already willing to take that chance.
it looks like our participants are really big again this year and
There's
all.
like over 75 vendors signed up.
5 vendors, and
Lots of sponsorship, and all's going well, I guess.
I believe y'all also wanted to close Gator Road at Old Highway 43, just the entrance to the high school
Yes,
for the vendor.
like at 8:30, we'll close the Gator Drive, which is in front of the high school, so yeah, there will be a barricade there, turning off Old Highway 43 until the end of the day, and then we'll open up again.
Travis is going to be here to help in any way we can with a couple of his guys, so they'll be available to,
Right,
Go
we've
around
gotten together, and I think we're on the same page.
okay, good. And I think the police chief and fire chief both have said they feel like they are in good shape for it, so,
Hope to see everyone there.
no, good, thank you. All right, and y'all hadn't seen Corey in the back lately. He's got a few plans for us in the not-too-distant future about trying to help us a little more with our live streaming and being able to hear, because I still have people say that they'll hear one or two of us real clear and they can't hear the others, so. Corey, didn't you tell me you thought we might be able to get some mics that would be a little better picking up all around, so.
Like this, just talking to the mic.
Well, it sounds like whenever you're talking in up here, you're blasting it out, and out there, they say they can't hear us often.
Let me guess, I'm the one that they can hear.
I'm not gonna say that.
The loud lady.
All right, well, ladies, y'all got anything specific tonight, or? So, okay, well, we all. All right, well, we're glad y'all are here. It's only 6:21 and we've gone through the agenda items, so.
We got one other thing we may need to discuss, the next meeting.
Okay.
With a school board appointment, Matt Dowell's term is scheduled to expire in April of this year.
Okay.
So we need to see how you want to do that, whether you want to take applications again or reappoint.
Has he expressed an interest in redoing? Do you know?
He asked to me,
Okay,
so, I just was flipping through the book and saw it.
sure.
All right, we can put that on the, please, for our agenda next week. Yeah, we only have
You
one
have to
week.
vote on it by the 1st of April. So if you put it on your next agenda and open up applications for the month.
That'd be good, thank you. Thanks for reminding us of that. May ask y'all just for a couple of minutes to go into executive session tonight, but it should be for absolutely no more than 5 minutes on a good name character issue. But other than that, I don't know of anything else. Jay, you know of any of our
Mayor,
things? Yeah, George has got something he'd like to, a program he's been working on. He's got a few minutes. We got to tell you about what he's,
Yeah, so I've been working on a program for the permitting process, and I found a company that I think is pretty reputable. We sat in a meeting with them online and went over everything, but basically what it is from now on, you'll be able to, with the program, you'll have a portal for the civilians, for the citizens that can go on, open an account. If they need a permit, they apply for the permit. Everything they need will be on that checklist, and the system will not let them move forward unless everything is uploaded onto the system. Our big rolls of plans, they can be brought down to a PDF and loaded into the system. As far as reports, you call me right now, in 2 minutes, I got a report for the whole year printed out. You'll know every inspection, every pass. When I pass or fail an inspection or whoever, we'll be able to email it off my iPad right then to whoever the permit holder is. And there'll be no more questions, no more lost paperwork, no more paperwork. The only thing that they'll have to do is, call here to make the payment. But other than that, they'll already know that it'll come through, I'll approve it, they'll come here to make the payment. That's the end of the story. They'll never have to come back to this office. They'll know the process through the whole thing. If I need something, I'll flag it on there and they can log into their account. They'll know exactly what they need. I feel like that it'll pay for itself within, a quick time. And especially as shorthanded as we are, I think it'll loosen up a lot of our workload. So, Miss Trish has been helping me a lot, but anyway, I have I shortened it down. It was 29 pages. I shortened it down to just 12. If anybody wants a copy, I can make you a whole thing if you want, but basically what we're looking at is we're right at $4,200 for the year. Again, I think it's money well spent. I had not the same program, but a bigger scale program at the county, and it's wonderful. We couldn't go with the same company because they're very expensive, but after talking to this fellow, Mr. John, I think it's pretty close. Heather seemed to, be interested. Not that it matters anymore, but. And Ms. Trish was able to watch the presentation too, and he sent us a proposal with everything on it. So it's pretty informational. It's a lot more stuff than what I said. And you can also add to it later. If you like the program, you'll be able to, down the road, if you wanted to start doing, business licenses again, it's the same deal. They never have to come here. They do everything online, has a checklist. They can't get it unless they qualify for it, simple as that. But you can do Parks and Rec. There's so many things you could add to it eventually down the road, so. Anyway, that's it.
I think it's a good idea, especially with George and the knowledge kind of behind it, and that has run that type of program before. And like I say, keeping up with paperwork, it'll take a lot of that away.
y'all okay with it?
Are they going to provide you with the training that you need?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Okay.
meant to tell you that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's absolute free training. They'll do it online, just, by Skype or whatever. problems that we have had? Any problems?
I was gonna put one in Bubba's book for him, what he's missing, so you already gave me one.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's-
Yeah.
Here's the original, though.
Yeah, I don't, I was just gonna,
But yes,
here,
so,
Bubba.
what was that question?
Mainly the training.
Oh, yeah, all the training, they provide all of that. It takes 30 days to implement it from the day we say go. And we should be ready to jump it off in about 30 days. The downloading of the plans and stuff may take a little bit more time because we like to let the contractors know that it's coming up. Yeah, all the support we need. And it's our data. So if for some reason that you don't want it next year, the data belongs to us. We don't hold it hostage, we can get it anytime we want to. So it's not data lost, it'll be there forever, so. Thank you.
Thank you.
So is the annual license the same amount, or was it reduced just based on the setup cost?
So it increases based on users, but it comes with 3. And that, with me, my tablet and my phone, that's all still one user, so. It goes up $300-something if you start adding users, but, only the different modules will cost more later on if you add them.
Gotcha.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay, I'm okay, well, I told him I didn't think y'all would have a problem. Okay. Mr. Davis, we got a few minutes, we're moving a little faster, our pre-council than usual. Did you want to tell us what you had? We can vote on it, but if there's any discussion, I see you were going to approach us about requesting the rental fees be waived for Steel Creek for the Citizen of the Year banquet. We was just going,
Yeah, we're having the Citizen of the Year banquet. It's going to be on April the 26th. And we'd like to see if y'all would waive the rental fees for that.
The 26th or 7th?
I wrote it down. I have the 27th.
27th. That's what we had.
Dr. Joe ain't here tonight yet to keep me straight.
so we can, yes, Thursday night. Yes, Thursday night in April.
27th.
That's what I show it to be.
It's a Thursday night.
But have we checked to see if it's rented that night?
Ms. Trish said it's available.
All right. I mean, I don't see no problem with waiving the fee at all.
I
Yeah,
don't
want
either.
to add that as E?
Yes, ma'am. Think you would.
Do you want to do F? E is going to be the.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
planning program.
Do you want me to go ahead and take care of this other thing?
Sure, why not? Unless you want to get back up in 30 minutes. Unless you want to come back at 7 and do it again.
We'll just wait.
It's up to you.
Well, we don't really have to add that on. We could, I mean, he's going to approach us on B. We can just make a motion at the time he.
On B? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so you can make.
Well, let's
put
just
you
do
there.
that.
Okay.
Want to catch it as we're going down.
That's right. That way they can keep right on. So you gonna make that as a motion then?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. And then.
I can second it.
Second, okay. Okay.
Mayor, I wanted to add one more thing about that. It's 100% tamper-proof as well. If we log it in and we put it in there for legal reasons, you cannot change what was put in. So that would cover your reports as well, saying, hey, you didn't inspect this, what you did.
All right. We have gone through everything that we have tonight, and I think we've had a couple people come in, so Y'all have anything else, or we can reconvene in 30 minutes for our regular meeting?
Sounds good.
All right, thank y'all. We're going to Good evening. I'd like to call the Satsuma Council, our regular meeting of February the 28th, 2023 to order. Most of you are familiar. I don't really see any new faces in the audience, but I would like to caution you to either turn your phones off or at least silence them so they won't be disrupting the meeting. But with that said, we welcome all of you here, and like I said, we start our meetings the same way all the time, so in just a moment, I'm going to ask that if you're wearing any hats to take them off, but to please stand. We're going to ask Councilmember Randy Little to lead us in invocation, and we will remain standing and say the pledge followed by that. So thank you for coming, and if you would, please stand. Randy?
Lord, we thank you for this day and the blessings you've given us today, Lord. We just pray for strength this evening, Lord. We just ask that you be with us, help us to make decisions that be pleasing to you, Lord. We just pray for all the things going on in our city this evening. Keep everybody safe, Father. We just pray for our first responders. Just watch over them, Lord. Protect us. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance. Thank you, Mr. Little. Ms. Heather, would you give us a roll call, please?
Councilmember Little,
present.
Councilmember Butler. Present. Councilmember Skelton,
Present.
Councilmember Reese,
Present.
Councilmember Phillips, Mayor Barlow.
Here. Please let the record reflect that all are here, of the elected officials, with the exception of Mr. Phillips. We also have yourself, new assistant we've hired, Ms. Jessica, along with the city attorney, building inspector, police and fire department heads. Next thing we have is the approval of the agenda, and I think we were going to add on an E for the purchase of a permitting program that George explained to us in our pre-council. Was that the only add-on that we had? Okay.
I'll make
That means-
the motion to approve the agenda with the addition of item E.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Little, to approve the agenda with the one add-on being E, the permitting program. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on, the minutes of the meeting, I think y'all got them in an email earlier. Did y'all have any corrections and/or additions or deletions of anything from the meeting of the minutes from our meeting of February the 7th?
If not, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded again by Mr. Little. If there's any discussion, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay. In our pre-council, we have no recognitions that we need to bring before the council tonight. So we'll move on from that to visitors. The first person we have listed as a visitor tonight is Miss Betty McLean. I think she moved in here a few minutes ago. Miss Betty, would you please come forward and state your name and address and tell us your request?
Betty McLean, 6161 Haley Court, Satsuma. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I am here to represent, well, as the spokesman, I guess, for the Women's Club of Satsuma. I would like for y'all to grant, you've got in here a waiver of rental fees, but I actually wanted the rental fees and the cleaning fees to be waived because we are hosting a cookout for the Gator guys who are the seniors at Satsuma High School, and they can each bring their dad or a visitor, and we will foot the bill for everything. We're having a hamburger cookout, so I would like for you to pass whatever you need to do to make this happen, because we don't have any, we're not charging any money for this particular thing. It's a community service. Do I sit down now?
Well, you can, or there may be some questions
Okay,
before
that'd be fine.
that we have. I think this is, how many years have we had this banquet?
Ooh, several. I don't know how many right off, but we've had it several years. We have it every year in May. And it's for the senior boys at Satsuma High School.
Okay. Any discussion or questions from the council?
Make a motion.
Well, I don't have any problem on the rental fee. One thing we have to consider is the other groups that come through with the same request.
So
There-
what are you saying? You want to approve the rental fee only, but not the cleaning fee?
And that's what we
Is that
have
what
to.
you're thinking?
Yes, ma'am, that's what we have to discuss, because we got to make sure that we treat all groups equal on
Okay,
that.
I understand, but we want them all paid if possible.
I understand.
Because that's not part of our budget. We budget money for this thing, but that's not part of it. And we're not a money-making organization either. We're more of a community service.
Y'all have
But
been.
I understand.
Y'all have been cleaning it every year in the past, right?
Pardon?
Y'all have been cleaning it or paying that
Yes, we
in the
have.
past.
Is that what we need to do?
That's what I was,
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Butler made a motion to approve the waiver of the rental, and I guess we're going to waive the cleanup fees, but we would ask that you do clean it up the best that you can prior.
No, we were,
We will.
they've paid for it in the past, so, right? Isn't that what you were saying, Randy?
I think
They've always
so.
paid for it in the past. Because we get professional,
When it was 125, we could afford that, but 275 is a little out of our range.
So you're waiving the rental fee and the cleaning fee, but no, we're not. That's not correct, okay?
Okay,
You're
well, I
doing
think-
just the rental fee? Is that what we're
because if we
waiving?
waive the cleaning fee, then other groups will want us to waive it as well.
Okay,
So we would be setting a precedent.
so
that-
you're not waiving that, we will need to clean
Right,
up
because we actually
afterwards.
contract with cleaners that come out and clean.
Yes, we knew
Yes,
that,
ma'am.
it's expensive, yeah, okay, we'll take care of it.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're amending your motion to waive the fee
Right,
for the rental,
right,
but they will pay the cleanup.
right.
I second that.
Motion made by Mr. Butler, seconded by Ms. Reese, that we waive the rental fee for the Steel Creek Lodge on May the 15th for the Gator Guys lunching, but we will charge the cleanup fee. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So the rental fee was waived.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Moving on, Mr. Mike Davis, I think you're still back. Come on up, please, sir.
My name's Mike Davis. I live on 400 Burning Tree Drive in Satsuma. I have a check here that I would like to present to the Women's Club tonight. One of y'all, or all of you come up?
All come up.
Sure.
I'll take the money.
I don't trust you. The president of the SCDO, representing the rest of the members that are here, I'd like to present y'all with this check for $2,000 for the chapel.
Thank you so much, appreciate it. I would like to say that the SCDO has been very supportive of us. Two of their guys are honorary members of the Women's Club. So, they do our cooking for the Gator Guys and a lot of the other stuff they help us with. So we do appreciate the SCDO. Thank you very much. Mike, step back over there and let me get a picture of y'all, please, if you don't mind.
I was going to ask. Yeah. But thank y'all, Mike. That was very nice of the SCDO and certainly several other groups, but the SCDO and the Women's Club are both very vital to our city. And
Just like for a lot of the people in the city to know where the money goes that we earn and make, for ourselves. It goes back to the city, every bit of it.
Right.
Thank y'all.
And we're hoping that this coming Saturday is going to be a nice fundraiser for our city and for the schools, actually, but here in the city. So we're looking forward to a good event there. Thank y'all. Okay, I think we had one other group that came in that wanted to talk about their motorcade. Would y'all like to come up and,
And Randy needs to circle back to B for the request of the waiver. Hello.
hey,
My name is Cassandra Overton, and I am representing Sunlight Missionary Baptist Church, and I have my pastor. I have my pastor here and his wife, and we were just trying to see if it would be okay if we did a motorcade. We have been in existence for 75 years, and we just decided this year that we wanted to do a motorcade from our church and back to our church.
okay. That's going to be on April the 15th?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, and I think Troy, you said you'll work with them to try to iron that out and do what we can from, as far as police or fire department to assist y'all. Congratulations, 75 years, huh?
75 years.
I didn't know it was that long. I knew it'd been as long as I could remember, but
Yeah, it's been a long time.
guess that's not that much longer, huh? than I
I was
thought.
about to tell my age, yeah.
Well, congratulations. We hope the weather will be cooperative with you all that day, and it'll be a good event for your church, so.
I wanted to ask one more question.
Sure.
If we wanted to have a sign put on the highway, what procedure would we do? How would we go about doing that?
The churches have signs here, and to my knowledge, this is the first church sign I've had, I remember coming up in many, many years. But we do allow them to be placed at each end of the city. We kind of have to work with AlDOT to make sure that they're off of the road. But if y'all choose to do so, you can get with Travis there
Okay.
and/or with George. In between the two of them, we will coordinate with AlDOT to make sure that we're plenty off the road at a safe distance and that we're put in line with the other churches.
Okay.
Okay.
But if you'd like to do so, by all means, let us know, and we
Appreciate
will
it.
work with helping y'all get it
Thank you.
locations.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you
Okay?
very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, and good luck. Okay, is there anyone else that would like to come before the council tonight before we move into our regular order of business?
Mayor, do we want to do the business part of B? Randy was going to do the rental for the Citizen of the Year banquet.
Okay, I'm sorry, we didn't, yeah, we let Mike go sit down before we, Mike, I think you were going to request, and thank you for pointing that out, Allison, a waiver of the rental fees for Steel Creek Lodge for the Citizen of the Year banquet.
Oh, I thought I took care of that earlier.
Okay, we have to be in the
Oh, okay.
regular meeting in order to make a motion
Okay,
and give grant approval.
I'd like to get y'all to see if y'all would waive the rental fees and the cleanup fees. Nah, we'll take care of the cleanup. But just waive the rental fees for the lodge for the Citizen of the Year banquet.
And that's going to be held on for our record, for the minutes, April the 27th, which will be a Thursday night, and the clerk said that they've already checked and it's open that night.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Little, seconded by Ms. Reese to waive the rental fees for the SCDO for the Satsuma Citizen of the Year banquet to be held on April the 27th, a Thursday night. Do we have a time it's going to be
I
at?
think it's gonna start at 6:30.
6:30.
We'll be putting out stuff on Facebook
Okay.
and stuff about it.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, now we'll move on to the mayor's report. Basically, the things that we covered in pre-council. I see no reason to get into any long detail with you. I did want to express condolences to several of families in our community and the loss of loved ones. We had some longtime Satsuma citizens that's passed away since our last council meeting. Miss Barbara Black, Mr. Mike Pruitt, Mr. Cooley. He had been a fixture around the parks for years as I was a child. Also, Miss Diane Corrales, one of our citizens and also an employee over at the library, and the passing of her daughter over the weekend. So if you see any of those families, please give the condolences. Reported in our pre-council meeting that our sidewalk project is just about wrapped up. I think they totally completed the punch list. And not only did we add to the sidewalks, but we went back and made several repairs where the sidewalks either caved in or cracked and was just needing some attention. So I don't know how many total spots that we identified. Do you, Travis? If we can, I'd like to look so they can see just different areas where people were saying they was having trouble running in it because of the uneven sidewalk or where it had, caved in some. So we were glad to see us get that completed. Also reported to the council on the intersection there in front of the pilot. They did make the lane shift where they got a large section of concrete poured in the last week or so, and they made that move today. So as confusing as that has been, I'm sure it will be another week or two before people get used to that. But the project is on schedule and it's starting to take shape, so that's looking good. I did state that the Steel Creek project has suffered a little bit due to the weather. The high water that we've had has kind of stopped them from working several days. They give us a report daily on the weather conditions and if they're able to work. And also, it started out real good, but as y'all well know, the last couple of weeks we've had some high water and rain days come in. All right. Got a couple other things, but I think they're going to be addressed by the council members when they come through their departments. Would like to remind everybody once again, Swamp Fest Saturday. Y'all please try to come by and spend a little time, spend a little money, help them raise some money. It's predicted to be a very pretty day that day, so hopefully help us with attendance and maybe we can even surpass what they did last year. Moving on to public services, Mr. Little.
Mayor, down at the trash ramp, we are continuing to do some work. It's actually, most of it is on the building that houses the sanitation trucks and stuff. We had a little damage that was done to those, but that is getting done. I know some of the workers was down there today. Also, I know this is the last day of February, but I can give you the inspection report. We've got 23 open building permits, 10 open standalone trade permits. We closed 8 permits also this month. We had 24 inspections at different sites, and we did work on the nuisance inspections that I know different ones is asked about. We worked at least 6 of those. We removed some signs, some different signs that's on poles and stuff throughout the city that's not under code or not in the right places. We issued 8 city licenses to individual companies that were operating without a license. And we posted of a couple of public hearings, and we attended some meetings at the Home Builders Association. Other than that, I think that's all.
Public safety, Mr. Butler.
I don't have much today, for the fire department for the month of February. We got EMS calls, we got 62 for the month. Fire-related calls, we got 6. Mutual aid calls given was 4. Mutual aid calls were 0. And for the total calls for the month of February, 72 calls. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Butler. Mr. Skelton.
Yeah, just earlier in the pre-council, I introduced Miss Jessica Jones, our new assistant that will be jumping into quick start and roll here next week or so. I'm glad to have her on board. And also, we discussed a little bit with Travis about the paving issues on Old 43, and he's going to try to make contact with the engineer or contractor this week to get us an update on the corrections. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Moving on to Parks and Recreation, Ms. Reese.
Yes, sir. So I spoke with George before the meeting, and I've sent an email to Lainey Huback. She's with Lions Park Boys Baseball, and they're going to try to get together and address some issues at Lions Park, like fencing and some other safety issues. So hopefully we move forward with that. It is opening day for softball this weekend, and then opening day for baseball the following weekend. Also, talking about the north entrance to the city, I know some time ago, we had wanted the south entrance to look like the north entrance, and one of those would be including the flagpoles. I didn't know if there were any plans to improve the flagpoles that were there, because I know at one time we were trying to like find where the water and the gas and all that, and it was kind of like a mess in that area. Were we going to get some more substantial poles to do, because at the south end we have the state, the city, and the American flag. And I think the intention was to have the same thing at the north end, but we were going to wait to do it till the concrete project happened. And I don't know if you had put any more thought into that. I know it didn't start with you.
It's,
But-
I have spoke with Aldott on more than one occasion about us wanting to do that.
Okay.
But I felt like we need to get the improvements made, and then perhaps try to look at moving the sign back some, because they did say that utilities and all was going to be a problem by doing that.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have an answer for you. but
That's fine. I just didn't want us to
It would look
lose.
nice if we could do the same, I agree.
Sure, sure. And which also made me think about the sign that's at the south entrance. Is that like a temporary sign until they can redo the one that was up there? Because I think it's like a banner that's like tied to the posts, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Has anybody noticed that?
I didn't know the person that was putting it up. I mean, I seen them come out. I know it must have been hired by Paul, but I haven't.
I didn't know we were going to get like a banner.
No, when we.
I didn't know if that was like temporary until they can
Yes.
read.
I had no guys cutting the highway today, and I was checking on it, and I saw that same banner, so, I'm thinking it's just temporary.
They didn't say anything to us as putting it up, so I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
we try to call tomorrow and see if we can get an update on where they're at with, because they've got some other signs they have not completed.
I was wondering if maybe they weren't doing that one temporary till like got it fixed and then put the same one at the other end and redid that one kind of thing. And then also my Christmas tree banner is still up. It is, and I noticed there was one by the fireworks stand in front of McConaughey's. Y'all got that one? Spot the Christmas tree banner in the city.
Okay?
I'll get with you about it.
Okay?
That's all I have.
Okay. Anything else from the council? We'll move on to items for discussion and/or consideration. A is the payment of the bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $111,860.23.
Second.
Motion been made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Little, to pay the bills in the said amount. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
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 B, discussion and consideration of the resignation of Blake Russell as a police officer to be effective March 11th, 2023, in good standing.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Butler, seconded by Mr. Skelton, to accept the resignation in good standing. All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Those opposed. Did we vote on C earlier when Mr. Jones was up here for the Starlight?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, C, discussion and consideration of approving a parade permit for Sunlight Missionary Baptist Church to be held on April the 15th, 2023, to celebrate their 75 years existence as a church here in our city.
I make the motion.
Second that.
Motion made by Ms. Reese, seconded by Mr. Little to approve the request. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
D, discussion and consideration of authorizing a voting delegate and then the first and a second alternate for the annual league convention, which we held May the 10th through the 13th, 2023 in Birmingham.
I'll make the motion that we authorize as the voting delegate Mayor Barlow, first alternate Councilmember Randy Little, second alternate Councilmember Mike Butler.
Second.
Motion been made by Mr. Skelton to approve the voting delegate. Myself, first alternate, Mr. Randy Little, second, Mr. Mike Butler. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay. E, in our pre-council, George, from our building inspections department, presented the council with some information regarding the official city report proposal, basically a computer program for him to keep to better track of our building permits, and to help him with the job, like I said, to better give monthly reports and let people know where they're at and be able to do our permitting online. Is there any other questions the council may have before us tonight? I think the approximate yearly cost he gave us would be around $4,200. Is that correct?
Yeah, it looks like it's 4,400. That was one question that I had if,
So
there-
there's also a 125 person. We're going, you get 3 users. That's where the 4th user added. There will not be a 4th user, so 375 will come.
okay, and another thing I was gonna ask, I forgot to ask you about, there's like a little plan that gives a discount, like for 3 years. I mean, it looks,
If you sign up for 3 and a 10% you sign up for 5.
so I mean, $600-700 difference, you know. I mean, George is pretty familiar with it. I think it's gonna work. I would suggest us trying the 3-year
I would too.
to start.
I think that's what he had said too.
Okay, all right. I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Mr. Little to buy the program for George in our building inspections department. The cost maximum, it looks like, would be $4,500 a year, but I think it should come in a lot less than that, but that would be. Is that correct, George? We ought to be able to stay under $4,500 with it a year.
I think so.
I believe it's going to be 4175 because we don't pay tax.
Okay. Any other discussion from the council?
The only other thing, we need to know kind of where it's gonna come from, I guess. Where you gonna draw it from?
We can pay for it out of general fund, but we can amend the budget to cover it because we should have plenty of money in the building inspection,
That's fine with me. It's fine.
you know, because we didn't have any
I
money in
just
the
wanted to make that, you know.
department for the first
Okay.
quarter.
Did we get a second with that?
No, sir, we didn't. Would you mind?
I'll second.
I was waiting. Motion made by Mr. Little and seconded by Mr. Butler to purchase the program that we've been discussing. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Well, it is 7:30. This is one of the quickest council meetings that we've ever had. But I'd like to ask, is there any other business that we need to bring before the council or anything we need to clarify? And if not, I'm going to ask the council for about a 5-minute executive session to discuss good name and character. And, but like I said, it should be relatively quick. So with that being said, I'd like to get a motion, and I think we've got to have a roll call vote, and I assure you we will not be over 5 minutes.
I'll make a motion to enter executive session to discuss the good name and character for approximately 5 minutes.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Butler, and I think that will require a roll call vote.
Yes, sir.
Won't it?
Councilmember Little,
Yes.
Councilmember Butler,
Yes.
Councilmember
Yes, yes.
Councilmember Reese,
Yes.
Councilmember Phillips,
Yes. Now, motion to, motion to executive session by the same two
Yeah.
people.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.